Hello, everyone. It's Rosie at RoseByNameCo. I'm coming to you today with just some of the crafting in general. Here I am starting my tea journal, and I'm looking at some of the options that I have to use as far as images, some fabrics, and vintage book pages that I might put into it that have something in relation to tea. This journal is going to be called Tea Rooms, and it just shows maybe some of the places where we might have tea. Not necessarily rooms, but different places, restaurants, or even like countries if you're on vacation. So, anyways, I am going through this, and this is my cover, and I have a tea leaf on the top there, and the inside is of the book is not quite completed yet because you see the spine is still uncovered, and but I'm looking through the pages that I might use. Now I put together whatever I think that might go with it, but I probably won't use all of it. And it's probably like a process of elimination. So I will go through things and decide at some point whether actually it's going to make it into the book or not. And I have various things here, maybe that I've done in the past, or some things that I feel might go with it, even if I made it for some other journal, but it didn't make it into that journal, which often happens. And then I have things that are left over. And some things are already sewn up or prepared for this journal. And I'm just looking at how it might go with some of the other things that I want to add. And here looks like some tea settings in a kitchen or dining room. This is from a home book I have back probably from the, I'm not sure, 40s or 50s. And it has lots and lots of black and white images, which might go perfectly into this book. And I've included some postcards as well. And the actual fabric that covers the journal has teacups and a tea setting on it. So I'm also looking at the thickness, how thick I want this book to be, whether I want the cover to sit very flat or I will put into it what I feel like. And then even if it's not quite flat sitting, I will use a closure. And I'm going to make some tags. The paper I cut out for these tags are parchment paper, and then I chose from the different images, some that I printed and some that are from books. And some fabrics that I have, something that I might add to it. And I love the vintage images that I collect all the time from different places and put it into my folders that I have for different things. So I have a folder that actually says tea time, and then anything that I feel might go with tea, I will put into it and collect. This one is from a book, a vintage book, that showed a family having tea, and then this is something I printed. I also like to print on thin paper, or otherwise called newsprint, and I like to make the large printouts on that and just include it as a newspaper article maybe or something. And then some of the fabrics I have that maybe I'm considering, maybe even the colors, not so much even that it has any kind of motif of tea, but maybe color of the tea or tea leaves and so on. So So I'm just going through a whole bunch of things that I've thrown into my tray there, and we'll be deciding on whether I need that in this journal or not. Oh, there's a nice porch there. Well, I would like to have tea on that porch. So now I'm going to start crafting. First of all, make a few journal tags and go from there. So I have my parchment paper ready, and I'm going to insert some of the eyelash trim on the top, and that might give me a color scheme or texture scheme or something. In a way, it kind of gives me a starting point on the tags, which way I want to go as far as color, maybe. So I just like to do things nice and easy because crafting should be relaxing as well. Not so much, work that we want to get paid for, but also just to spend some time relaxing and doing something we love without being in a hurry. Like maybe at a real work, at a real job. Well, I am retired now, but I did start this while I was still working, so that I know that, when I'm working, I have to keep going and usually not at my own pace, but at the pace that the company wants me to go at. So here I try to just go at my own pace and do some cutting and pasting. I always did cutting and pasting with the kids when they were little. I always enjoyed that part. So I was always making some kind of collages with them. Let's make a collage, kids. When they don't want to really sit down and relax and they're being a little bit too rowdy. Okay, it's cut and paste time. And they did enjoy that. So I would make a circle maybe, and they had to put everything into the circle without going over the lines, and just different things like that to keep it interesting. So to this day, yes, I still enjoy cut and paste of, whether it's fabric or paper or whatever kind of collages. I will still go with that, and I imagine I can do this for some time to come, hopefully. But sometimes doing the crafting, I do try to get up from the chair and do different things, like at least get some supplies that I need. All the time something. So I do get up a lot, but also sometimes I feel, we sit a lot and don't get enough exercise. So sometimes I make myself, okay, I might go to the attic and I need to get something from there because I have a large storeroom upstairs in the attic. And I was working in the attic at some point, but man, it's just getting too cold in the winter or too hot in the summer. Like right now, you can open the door to the attic and it feels like a freezer because this big gust of cold air comes out. So now I do my tags and some crafting wherever I can on the second floor. And I know actually in a toy room, it's a half toy room and half craft room that I've taken over. And so I'm going to use these teacups that I printed from the Graphics Fairy, from their wonderful collection of teacups, and just make some tags with the little teacups. And I collect teacups as well. I have quite a few. I showed you once in another video a little bit of my collection. And this is the paper version or image version of the teacups. Really, I could probably take pictures of my own teacups and maybe use it in the future tea journal. I know I could be using probably white glue for this, but I just like my Fabri-Tac because I know it's going to stick and I don't have to go back and re-glue or anything. And whether I'm using paper or fabric, everything will stick down with Fabri-Tac. And I never know when I'm going to have mixed media because it's always something different I'm making, but I'm always trying to include the fibers of some sort, whether it's ribbon or threads, or because I also use the leftover threads and so on. So just the fussy cutting here is a fun and relaxing part. And I like to use my small scissors, but sometimes whatever I have, that's what I use. So let's see, I like to have a little bit of paper and a little bit of fabric on the tag. And I love the color on this one. It certainly will go with, tea leaves. It looks like little leaves there. That could be tea leaves. And it's just a bit of a leftover, so I don't throw much out, which gives me a lot of supply. And so it's not like I buy all the time. It's just that, well, I do. Well, not all the time, but I do like to pick up little things that I think might go with the journals. But I have a lot of leftovers, snippets that I keep, and then, of course, it turns into boxes and boxes of these different leftovers. So how is everybody? I hope everybody has had a good holiday. Ours was good. Maya was home, as you know, my daughter Maya, who made some journals in the past. She's back home from university, and otherwise she is busy studying and that, so she's not making any journals right now, and probably won't be for quite some time, if ever. But she did make a few, and some people were lucky enough to get it. And although she thinks she's not creative at all, well, I tell her otherwise. No, you can do this and you can be creative. And being creative is just something that gets your mind going and makes you come up with different ideas and different things to do all the time and occupy your mind and your hands or whatever it is you're doing with crafting. So, and my mother was doing crocheting for my journals as well. I do still have a box of it. I'm not sure where I put it because I was moving some things, and now I put some things in big bins, and I can't find what I did with the box of the crocheted little pieces that she did. I don't think she's making any more right now, and so I will have to find that so I can continue using her wonderful work. So here I'm using a little leftover piece of a doily, which I'm always on the lookout for, with especially the ones with sort of flowers or in a circle, and then you can cut out each one, and each one is kind of a separate piece. And then even from there, I cut off a little piece of that circle and then put it onto my collage. So this is where Fabri-Tac is also good for something like this, to make it stick. Something that it's not a solid surface, but more like something that only has a surface in well, different sections. Yeah, it does stick to the fingers, but it comes off eventually. Okay, so I think we have 1, 2, 3 tags, and I think I'm making 6 tags of this type. So it's quite simple, really. 3 elements, a book page, the teacup, and a piece of fiber or fabric in some sort. Oh, and the eyelash trim on the top. But anyways, I didn't put too much on it so that it doesn't add too much bulk. And I was just debating here whether to cut off or keep it there. I did leave it in a couple of others, so I thought, okay, this one I'll just make it all the same. Do I want to leave it there or not? That was my debate, just so they're not all the same. I think I left it. There we go. So I'm narrating because I did this video at many different times, so that I had to put it together first in the editing software, and either I put music to it, but I thought, no, okay, let me put some words to this as far as what I'm doing and what I'm trying to achieve here. So anyways, what I'm trying to achieve is just something that is simple yet elegant or delicate, and that's why I don't have too many elements on the tag, but just the main focal point, the cups and a couple of other things. So I did print on white. I do have different papers that I use for printing, many different. I did have beige, but I decided just white on this one so that the colors really pop out and the pattern of these little cups. So I'm going to change it up a bit and put the cup on the top there. So I always kind of put things together just to see how they might look first before I actually glue it down. And if I want to shift anything, I still can, instead of gluing and then seeing how it looks. Just for me, it has to be a little bit pleasing in some way. And something that actually goes together. Maybe the piece of fabric is not really the one I want for this, and so on. But as far as for tea or tea time, lace is good, linen, and even the white little silk pieces of fabric I have there as well. So yeah, we are in the middle of, well, we're not in the middle of winter. I guess January will be middle of winter, but we did not have any snow for Christmas. Was not a white Christmas. It was more of a brownish Christmas. It was dry and overcast. We did have one sunny day, but still no snow came. So possibly still this week. I don't know if they're calling for snow or not. And if not, then maybe we'll just have to wait till next year to see something white. We did have one snowstorm, but it was way before this. So I like vintage book pages that I have from many different books, just for something to do with writing as well. So this is a journal, something to write into. And for me, a vintage book page like this with some writing just indicates that. And so I like to use it as often as I can. I'm working on a few other journals. I know I already have quite a few in the shop, but well, when it's something you love doing, you don't just stop. Just because maybe things are a little bit slow at the moment, but I still like to keep going because I enjoy doing it. So each journal is an enjoyment, I'm sure, for all the crafters out there who are making things, or maybe even kits, when you put together some kits. I did just put a few kits into the shop as well, but mostly I'm busy with journals and on Etsy, of course, my shop on Etsy under RoseByNameCo, as you can see here, my logo that just popped up on the video. And so I will continue the same process. Usually when I'm making tags or journal cards, I kind of set myself up to do a few of the same type of things. And then, but next day when I sit down, it will be something completely different and I will do a few in that style. So that is how I get variety. So I'm not too specific on, okay, I did 4 tags in this one style. I should do something different right now. No, as long as this style is in my head and I just want to use these simple things and leave it at that, then that's usually what I go with. So I'm not too concerned with, oh my goodness, they all look the same. It doesn't matter because the next day I will probably do some more for the same journal and they will turn out different. And then I will have, in the end, a few different styles to choose from. So not all of these might make it into the journal, but I'm making sure that I have a few choices. So these are the ones I've done so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have one more to do. I did, looks like I did 1 cup the same. Two of them are the same. So I check those to see which one I haven't used yet. I tried to make it all different, but it turned out 2 are the same. So 1 will be a leftover for the next tea journal, whenever that might be. And for today, after this, I'm probably doing a little bit of crafting, yes. Working on some new journals and cutting up some things and looking for pages and basically, the same thing again. I add different things into each journal and I usually like to have a little bit of a theme as far as what I put into the journal so that I know, like, what am I looking for? Because I have many different books and notebooks and fabric and lace and ribbon. And so I need to have a little bit of an idea of what it is I want in each journal. If you hear some talking, that's my husband. He's downstairs. I am upstairs. And he's downstairs talking to somebody on the phone. And I'm here talking to myself, narrating this time. I'm not sure how long this video is. I think it's about just under an hour. Okay, so this one, I'm using that little white silk piece that I have with those wonderful fringes on the side. And adding a cup to that one. It looks like I'm going to put the fabric a little bit over the cup. Either that or cut it. Okay, no, I'm going to reposition it. So it's just a little bit over the cup. Okay, well, this one looks maybe a little bit more plain, but pretty. Maybe I want to stick something else on it. I'm not sure. No, it looks like I just cleaned up on that, and we'll show you all the tags that I made. So they are different sizes, the tags, so I cut them a little bit in different lengths. So that's that for the Teacup journal tags. Now, here's my folder, Tea Time clips, meaning clippings. All sorts of clippings that I collected in this folder anyways. I have more than that, but that's this folder. And I found some things like this tea set, tea cup. So these are clippings from vintage books or magazines, and could be a coffee, I suppose, but it looks like a couple sharing tea. Let's just say it was tea. So this is from one of those date books. And I think it said something there by Shirley Temple. And they have some quotes on there with the beautiful images. A broken cup. I might use it, I might not. And there's a beautiful image in the back as well. So I'm just going through some different things. This is from an actual tea bag. I also like to collect the tops of it, the paper part. And this is from, when we bought magazines. I mean, not that we don't buy magazines anymore. I do still buy a magazine sometime. But they have that little piece of paper, if you want to subscribe. And that one just happened to say tea time. And here's a see-through pocket that says teapots. And I might use it somewhere. I might not. I'll find out. So that's something that was already made before, but it happened to say teapots, so I put it in there. That looks like a paper gift bag. I just like the flowers on it that I kept. And here's another image from that date book. Sorry about that shaking of that phone holder. Ah, goodness. Okay. I'm trying to stop it. Stop. I have to find something better than those ones that kind of hang loose, and then any little time you tap it, it starts shaking like that. Anyhow, that's a nice little tea party there. And here's another one. And with books, I like that one with books as well. Lilacs. Here's a nice tea setting from a vintage magazine, maybe, or a book on decorating. Oh, maybe even crocheting of some sort. And then I found this newspaper clipping that from where I used to live in Ontario. And there was a beautiful vintage home, and you could go there and have tea. So that's an article on that house called the Bovaird House. And I kept that in there, so I might use that. And then I have a whole booklet on Tea Social. I might use a part of it or the whole book. We'll see what happens in the end. Four ways to buy tea. Well, I thought really there was one way you go to the store and you buy tea, but probably the type of tea that you want. Do you want the raw tea, or do you want it in a little baggie, or you want it in a filter, or you want the loose leaf tea? So there are the few things there that I can choose from as well, and either make more tags or just use those in the journal as they are. So here I was deciding on which little booklet I'm going to use on the front. And even though this one has the darker title, Tea Rooms, I still went with the other one with the image on it, even though the tea rooms on that one is barely visible. But I like the card and I like the color of it. So I will put those things into these pages that I'm looking at. I will put those into the little cover that I printed out. So I'm making little booklets that I will use in the journal. So, of course, I want at least one writing page. That's coffee stain paper. And a book page and whatever else I might put into it. So first I want to measure what kind of size do I need. And I usually make it just a little bit less than what the cover is, so to make sure that it fits into it. And so just cutting that piece off that I don't need. And of course I will save that and use it somewhere else. Excuse me. And so what are your plans for New Year? What's going to happen in the New Year's? Or what do you know, what would you like to see happen? Or, of course, around us, we would like all the wars to stop. But in my immediate world, I'd like to see my grandsons, as I usually do, and my children, adult children, every once in a while when they have some time to visit us or we visit them. And then going back because I had to go and mention to my husband, I know that he saw me that I'm narrating here, and he decides to get on the phone, and he likes to speak loudly and clearly on the phone. And I reminded him, you saw that I was narrating for a video. So anyways, I had to go close the doors and so that you can hear me instead of my hubby. As far as, well, what's happening here now is I'm making, looks like a little pocket from a book page, and I will put that maybe in the middle. Let's see. Okay, so it's not a big notebook or anything, but just enough to write down some messages and maybe add a couple of things to the pockets or glue some things on the book page and so on. So that's what I call a booklet. Now, it could be bigger than this or just keep it simple. So I kept it a little bit more simple. on this one. And again, you can add more decoration, but then I like to leave some things for the new owner of the journal to add to the pages as well. I do decorate a lot of the pages, and I do have to remind myself to leave some free space for writing and for the new owner to decorate as well. So I'm trying to do that more as I go forward. So yeah, in the new, speaking of going forward into 2024, it's hard to believe that it's already, we're that far along, but we are. And well, I hope for more of the same, really, because I enjoy this part. I enjoy my crafting, and then I also do some acrylic painting, and I do some fiction writing. I do different things to occupy my time, so that when people used to say, they didn't want to retire early because they be bored. People would be bored. They were afraid of being bored. And I don't have a problem with that. No problem whatsoever, because I keep myself occupied with different things. And in the summer, getting out and do some gardening. And I'm not an avid gardener, but I do get out to clean up the garden and so on. And take some walks and so on, go to the beach and take a walk. And other times, I keep busy with different things like the journaling. Also, I do journal myself as well. And I am busy. So there isn't a time when I can say that I'm bored and I wish I was back at work, or I maybe want to find part-time work. No, this is really my part-time work as well in this case, and it's something I enjoy also. So it's the best of both worlds here. So in the middle, I like to add pieces of fabric, just either a little sample, just for texture, tactile purposes, and sometimes in the booklets I might add a little bit bigger piece. So I'm just going to sew through that in the middle. And then you have some paper and fabric, and you can always snip it off. You can leave it in there just to remain a sample, or you can snip it off and add it somewhere else in the journal that you feel you might want to use it. So I do add a lot of things that are like a journal supply. And here I had a leftover piece that I'm going to use as well, it looks like. And let's see what... Okay, it was upside down maybe. So I'm just, so this is like a journal supply. It's really just a piece of paper. You can write on it and then use it, glue it somewhere else, or leave it in there. Or you can use rubber stamps on it, and so it'll just be an extra little piece of coffee dyed paper. And there I'm trying to make it fit so I don't have to cut it, but I will cut it if I absolutely have to. So anyways, there's that. One more pocket there. And I might add something else into it, just to, this one I do have to cut up a little bit. Okay, well, sometimes I do, and I might add something else into those pockets. In the front, I believe, I did bring some of my authentic tea cards. I do keep them in this medicine jar. And I do have a few that I bought over the marketplace, well, maybe now a year or two ago. But there are quite a few of birds and butterflies and so on. Okay, so I'm going to use the butterfly, I think, and those birds. So one of each, it looks like, or two of each, two butterfly and two birds. So tea cards, of course, has to be included in the tea journal. So I've sewn them. I've gone to my sewing room and sewn those in. So there you have a small booklet to add some more notes on. And so this one will go in the front of the journal. So tea rooms, I don't know if they still have tea rooms here. Like in Canada, I'm not sure if they have it other places, but that is my new journal. It is in my shop right now. Thank you for watching this craft along, not really a tutorial, but really just a craft along to see what I'm up to and what new journals are in my shop. Thanks again, and I hope you come back again. It's Rosie at RoseByNameCo. Take care. Bye-bye.